Hey guys, it's Teresa Roberts from Becoming the Perfect Me, and today I have the honor of introducing one of my favorite worship singers in the absolute world. Yes, you all know it. You know what I do when I worship. I have to call her. I call her name, and now I get to see her face and sit with her. But I want to take this evening to just say hello, Miss Marette Brown Clark.
Hi, how are you, Lady Roberts?
Hi, welcome to the table with Becoming the Perfect Me.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you
I
so much.
need to tell you my journey because I didn't tell you. And, I know we talked, but I didn't want to talk to you. I didn't want to talk to you yet. I was like, I don't want to talk to her because if I talk to her, I ain't going to have nothing to talk about.
Okay.
So, so I needed to wait so I could have something to talk about. But let me tell you how you came a part of becoming the perfect me, and then I'll tell you who you are in my life, right? I was driving down the road. I was going to a conference. And while I was driving, I was just in my worship. And I had been praying about, the conference this year. And I was like, God, tell me what you want me to do and how you want this to go. And he said, call and invite Marette Brown Clark this year. And I was like, oh, that's not like in my budget. And hmm. He says, I'm going to tell you this. He said, you'll know it is her. This is how much she will charge you. And this is what she will say. And
Um,
when I called you and I was like, so I called my daughter, I was like, you're not gonna believe this. And she was like, no way, your favorite worship singer in the world. And I was like, yeah, right. She said, what do you think God's trying to do at this conference? I said, transformation.
Amen.
Because there's a song that you sing, and I believe you wrote it just for me. I believe you wrote it for me. I'm not gonna tell either of our ages, right? I'm gonna say a few years ago, my sister who lives in Maryland sent me your song, and she said, you got to listen to this. Back then it was CDs, right? She said, you got to listen to this. You're going to love her. I think you're going to enjoy her. And I promise you, I got to hear this song. I just want to praise you.
Okay.
Man, it took me into a place from that moment to this one. If you want me to move in the place of God, like instantaneously,
Great.
oh my God, that's my worship. That
I
is my
love it.
Everybody in the world knows it. Like my grandson says, Marette Brown Clark is my favorite worship singer. And I'm laughing. It's like, what do you know about her? You're like 7. But that's who you are to me. That
Thank
is
you.
the worship that takes me into my experience, right? And it is such a great moment. And I want to take a segue. I'm going to do a little infomercial because I got people that's going to be jumping on. And while they do so, I want to get the moment to say this so that
Okay.
they can hear from you. But I want to say to all of those who that are still contemplating, if you haven't gotten your tickets for the Becoming the Perfect Me 2025, please do so. You're not going to believe it, but it's only 3 days away.
I
It is 3 days
know.
away. I can't
That
believe it.
Labor Day weekend got me shook here. I'm like, I've been saying Monday all day.
It is. It is. I cannot believe it is this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to be hosting it this year at Savannah, Georgia. It's right at the Savannah airport, but it's considered to be our pooler area. But more than anything, Miss Marette Brown Clark is going to minister to, she don't minister to anybody. She's going to minister to me on Friday. And as they say to me, they said, Pastor Teresa, how you going to preach after her? And I was like this, right? Scoop me up, right? Scoop me up because I'm going out for at least, I got to go out at least for 5 minutes, right?
Oh,
But I just want to say thank you so much for allowing us the opportunity to sit in our presence and really get us to the position of hearing from God. And I just want to say thank you.
no, thank you for having me. Thank you for the invitation. You certainly could have heard from God and been like, yeah, no, I'm not calling or I'm not emailing, but you didn't. You put one foot forward, and that's all he expects us to do. And so, because of that, my prayer is that what I'm coming to do is of benefit to those in attendance. And I pray that on this assignment that I get done what it is he's purposed me to do for your occasion. I like to say that um, it doesn't get lost on me that people go from listening to me on the radio or on their devices, and then they step out on faith and have me to come to their events, their churches, their special occasions. And so I'm really grateful for that. And then just so you all know, I don't sing um, songs ever the same. It is always what it is supposed to be for that moment. So if you're saying, oh, well, I listen to it on the radio or I have it on my device, you'll be missing what you need at the conference. It's never the same. It is always for what it for that time in that moment in that space. All my songs are like that.
Yeah.
Of course, like the record, but they'll never be exactly like the record. God always tailors them for where I am and what I'm doing and who is in the room. So I'm excited about another opportunity to have him download to me what it is that he would have me say to your ladies on this coming weekend.
It's I think it's just the words. I don't care how you put it. It's still gonna be the same.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You're
absolutely.
gonna be picking me up. You're gonna say, uh, "Is she finished? Is she finished?" Yeah. But I am so excited to have you. I
Thank you.
absolutely mean it when I say we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna have a great time. Our team, God has blessed me with an amazing team. My core intercessors have been praying for
Amen.
you
Thank you.
for over a month, every
Thank you.
day. It's actually been 3 months that we have been praying consistently, but I mean every day. Like coming up into the conference, I was like, everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Everything's going to be fine. It is such a transformational moment. Becoming the perfect me, God gave it to me
Okay.
as a women's study. I was doing a women's study, and from that, this book birthed, and they said, you got to write that. You got to write that. And I was like, I'm not an author. I'm a teacher. And God said, write it. And so I did so. And I wrote this little book called Becoming, Why Don't People Like Me?
Hmm.
And it took me on a journey that I didn't expect.
Wow.
And what it allowed me to do is really teach people how to heal from the inside of the hurt places to the
Mhm.
place called promise.
Wow.
You know, finding your purpose and really walking in it. And this book has been so transformational for so many people. It did so much more than I thought or even
Amen.
expected. And it has been a blessing. And from that book, this conference came about. And now I get to sit with my worshiper. And so tell me this. In life, I find out this. When God gave me this book of Why Don't People Like Me, it came from my journey.
Hmm.
And my journey hasn't always been easy. I tell people I wear my scars very well. But my book tells a story that helps you understand the whole me
Okay.
with your songs. Let's go to mine. Let's just go to mine.
Okay.
Where did it come from? It's so powerful. So it had to come
So,
from somewhere. Where did it come from?
the interesting story to that is I do actually write some of my music. I don't write all of it. And that song actually is a song that I did not write. Um, and so a friend of mine years ago asked me to come and sing on a choir project with him. And I was like, okay, I'll come sing. And I was like, well, what do you want me to sing? And he was like, I want you to sing this song. And I was like, everybody sings that song. Like it was the offering song before I even recorded it. But what happened was I said to him, I said, well, there's no lead that like what do you want me to do? It's just kind of sings itself. And he was like, just do you. So I was like, and this was when I was in my 20s, like late. No, I was just about to be 30 or just at 30. And so I was like, I don't know what do me means, because you're still, like you said, you're still becoming who you are. But he trusted me to sing, to be me. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a whirl. And so literally what I did that night, except for one note that I had to fix because I didn't quite hit the top note on one of those key changes. It literally is what it was
Oh, wow.
20, more than 20 plus years ago in that moment. And so what happened with that song was other people have recorded it, other people sang it, but there is something about the way I sang it, the what the Lord gave me to say, that literally people not just sing the song, they don't just sing the background parts. They know my ad libs better than I know my ad libs. I have to listen back to the record and try to remember those, we bless you, we bless you, we bless. I've lived many years now, so I don't even know what the ad libs are, but what happened in that moment really has stood the test of time. And so, what I try to do with all of my music, I was called to this 30 years ago, and I asked God for two things. I asked Him for longevity, and I asked Him to take my music further than I could physically take it. And I've
Mhm.
watched Him do just that. I've watched Him take my voice, the messages He's given me across the nation and across the world, again, to places that I may get to or may not get to in my lifetime. And I've watched Him do this consistently for me. So, this just want to praise you um, is another thing that God can do for you if you just give Him your part. If you do your part and just say, "I'm submitted," I'll do what you say do. And that song has literally gone viral during the pandemic. It is a song that I sing every time I go out. I never get tired of it. I'm not the person
Ah,
like, no, I don't feel like singing it, because every day is new mercy, new grace, new favor, new experiences, new track record that I develop with my God. And so every day that song sings different in me. It sings better. It sings more in me. So you can't get me to stop singing it, just like I can't get people from stop listening to it. But it really has been a blessing to my life. If I had written it, though, I could probably not have to care about how big the Powerball is getting right now. But to God be all the glory. I get to sing it, and that kind of works for me. So it's been a blessing to me, for sure.
amen. Amen. I appreciate that. Tell me this. I know you sing a lot. I have daughters in all areas of ministry, so I'm really grateful. And I know with you, one of the things you said many years ago in your recordings, you wanted to make sure that you did for your children what your mom did for you, teaching
Yeah.
you music and worship. Did your girls follow? I should say, did your children follow you in worship?
So they are all following me in a different ways. And so my son does music production. He does all the photography, a lot of the videos for my music ministry. So he's tied to
Ah,
me. He's tethered to me in that way. My first daughter, she actually dances on Broadway, and so she went through a phase where, the kids do, where it's like, well,
yeah,
I don't want to sing. And, I'm not a singer. And I
yes.
believe that just was tied to the fact that their mother, every time they see their mother's up in front of them with a microphone in her hand singing before a lot of people. So they're like, that's what they equate singing to. And so they're like, yeah, I don't sing. But now she's singing on Broadway. She's dancing.
Ah,
It's amazing. And then the baby, she's in school right now. She's a junior in school. And she's not the worship leader I believe that she's going to be yet, but she is coming into her own as a singer, and in just learning more about God and just how that is for her. So they are all exercising the gifts that God has given them, and I expect to see them to do even more. I've never sung on Broadway. I have a daughter who's singing on Broadway. I never provided pictures or video for somebody's album cover, they're doing that in that way. So I'm just really excited to see what else the Lord has to do for them.
I
And
love that.
yeah,
I love that. I am like you. I've been blessed with these amazing kids that
mhm,
I get to have free labor from.
yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
They really keep me together. I
Yeah,
don't know how I would do without them. They've been such a blessing. I mean, I'll just get on the phone. I need help.
yeah,
Somebody. Which one of you all are available?
yeah.
Right.
And the
But
same
it's so
here.
cool.
The same here. Absolutely.
It's so cool to watch them become adults. Now,
Oh, yeah.
with you, one of my worship, I have a worshiper. She's truly a worshiper.
Nice.
But one of the things she wanted to ask you, if I would ask for you, she said, with doing what you do so often and repetitively, how do you keep your voice and your energy at a level of expectancy when you travel?
Good question. The first part of the question was I didn't. It was very hard for me to travel, in not so much in the beginning, because in the beginning, there's the excitement of it, right?
Right.
Even before my record, you're like, "Oh, just give me a mic. I'll sing, on the side of the road. I'll sing," you just do it because that's your passion. And then when you get into the music business of it, which is where I landed. And that was my request because that's how I knew that God could take my music far, right? And
Yeah.
so the fatigue of the business side of it, and then I was raising a family at the same time. It really was difficult for me to maintain my voice. So I would get to go sing places, and I'm like, I don't know what's coming out of my mouth. I was tired. I was hoarse a lot. I was trying to drink this and take that and try to do all the things. And so you make it through. You make it, you fake it, right? Till you make it, and you hope that God adds the increase, which He did. I'm at the point in my life now where I don't want anybody to have to go through. Oh, and I was stressed out a lot. I was stressed out over, are my kids okay? Is my husband all right? Is my house fine? Are people going to hear me and think, oh, she doesn't sound like the record. Did I wear the right thing? Am I going to say the right thing? I worried about all the stuff that did not matter, and I stressed myself out. And
Mhm.
so now what I've learned, which I hope other people learn before, like the length of time that it took me, is to one, to not be fearful, to not
Mhm.
stress yourself out over things that you can't control. You are the best version of you. You are the best, whatever your name is. Say your name is Jane. You are the best Jane. You are the singingest Jane that there ever was. And nobody can worship or praise or sing or do what it is that you do. And to find rest in that and to find peace in that so that you're not afraid to do what it is that He's called you to do, that you're not worried about sounding like anybody else or even sounding like yourself on a particular day. I may come to Savannah and you get alto moret. I may come and be singing up in the birds and you'll get soprano moret, or I might be tired by the time I get to Savannah and I might be tenor moret. But whatever moret I am, I'm going to give you everything that I have. We're going to worship, we're going to praise. And so to take that barrier off of yourself, that stress, that fear, and then it just rest, go to bed, get some sleep, and you'll be able to sing. I'm singing more now, um, and not so much. I've traveled all this whole time, but
Mhm.
what I've started doing the last 8 years was actually being the worship leader at my church. I didn't do that when my kids were small. I felt like when I was back home on the road from the road, that on Sunday mornings I wanted to sit with my children, sit with my husband in church. I didn't want to be, oh, I'm home this weekend, but I'm directing the choir, I'm leading worship. Y'all don't even get to see me. We don't get to have like that family time in church. And so for years, I didn't lead
Mhm.
worship. And now I do because, like you said, everybody's bigger. And that has actually helped me to maintain my voice because it's a
Wow.
muscle. And so I'm using it more, and I'm not afraid of, oh, I haven't sung all week. What's going to come out? I know it's coming out because it's been coming out Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday at rehearsal, Tuesday night at rehearsal, Saturday morning at the prayer breakfast, and then, all day Sunday leading worship. And so it's not a question anymore. This voice is going to work at whatever capacity needs to work for that day.
That was really cool. One of the things that I talked to my team about with you was that I said, Lorette still does her worship at church on Sunday.
Mhm.
And the thing was, because originally we wanted you to come on Saturday, and we can contemplate having it on a Saturday versus Friday. And you were like, but I do worship on Sunday, and
Yeah.
I was like, you still do worship?
Yeah.
And not that it is beyond you, but it really gave me another connection because I'm really committed. I'm
Mhm.
really committed, and I'm not committed to people and things. I'm really committed to God. To whatever He tells me to do, I'm 110.
Right.
You know, if He says this is where you're supposed to be, that's just where I'm going to be. It doesn't matter where what it is. I'm just 110, and showing that you are still understanding what it means to be a servant.
Mhm.
You know, this hasn't just become business. This has still a part of your ministry with a message, and it is exercised through worship. You know, it was that was really good for me to share, and I was
Yeah.
so glad you said that because it's really important that when you grow, you still need balance,
Mhm.
right?
It's my favorite place to sing. I was telling my sound guy, at my church Sunday, I was like, "I gotta figure out a way to record." My church is a little older, right? So it doesn't have all, like, the LED screens and the,
Yeah,
you know, the lights and the flashing and all that stuff that people are kinda doing now, right? And so I was like, do I want my voice, the message, the music to sing, or do I want the bells and the whistles,
yeah.
to try to keep up with my voice and have my voice compromised by maybe an uncomfortable surrounding or not where I'm used to literally worshiping and leading worshiping and singing and all that stuff. So, you know, the question is still remains where my next recording will be, but I'm heavily considering doing it at my home church. That's where I lead worship. That's where I
Ah,
serve. That's where I fuss at the people about if they don't get their parts right. And so that to me, that's my preferred place to be. I wish I could bring all the places I have to go sing, just bring them to my home church and just sing right there. It would be good. So it really has blessed me. My pastor's a worshiper, and it just he gives me the freedom, the liberty to assist, to lead, to follow, to you know, all the things. And so I'm just grateful for um just having that open door and being able to be what it is that God has called me to be. I also have a radio show Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. So when I'm not
oh,
singing, I am playing gospel music, which I love. I'm very knowledgeable on, and I'm able to, you know, like you, not preach, of course, but just share, you know, a quick word, an encouraging word in between the songs, and you know, just try to put a smile on people's faces. So I'm a witness to God will take all of your gifts. He will take them all if you submit them to Him, and you will be and he'll give you added bonuses on top of that. I never dreamed I would be anybody's mother, and I'm three people's mother.
mm.
I didn't know, you know, I knew I would be a wife because I was dating my husband in college, and I was like, I think this is probably going to go somewhere, but you know, I didn't know that he would be the right husband for me, and that he would never deny me from traveling or be threatened by my ministry. And so it's just all those things. He will give you the desires of your heart and then add on stuff on top of that. So I hope that my time at your conference, I can be that kind of light. I know a lot of women feel like, well, I can't do this because I'm doing this, or I can't have this because I have this, but it's not true. The sky is your limit, and God controls the sky. And last I checked, there's no rooftop on it, there's no limit on it. And so I just want to encourage everybody to come out and to really know that this is not just a conference where we're talking about what you know, maybe you can become this and maybe you can become, no, you're becoming all of the things that God has purposed for you to become, and you will live the length of time that you're supposed to live, and you will become everything that He has created you to be in every area of your life.
Amen.
Amen.
I received it.
Hmm.
I received it. You know, you talk about worship
Hmm.
and being at home in your worship. When you're at home in worship, it's different than being out. I know when you said that's your favorite place, I get it. I get it because I can just be me, no boundaries, no limits, right? But what is that song that takes Moret in?
You know, it changes different seasons, right? So
Oh,
any hymn will take me in. But I just was talking to a friend of mine today. I sent actually I sent him a text message because he did a song. He's singing a song on his new project. His name is Daryl Walls, and he has a song on his new project called Able. I can't
Mm,
even listen to like the first 3 bars without like of being a weeping willow. And so for me in this season, and I'm actually in a good season, I'm not even stressed out about the things of the world or the things in my home. I'm really kind of like, thanks God, you've
it's
been
a good
faithful.
time.
Like, I'm finally believing your faithfulness. You've been faithful my whole life, but I'm finally in a season now where I'm actually like believing that you've been faithful and you've been faithful to me. And
Don't
so
make me cry. I can't deal with you when you talk about people. 'Cause, oh
so
my
that
God.
so his Able song, he did this project with PJ Morton, is literally, I can kind of barely talk about it. So I've been putting that on like every day. Every day I've been,
That
in my car, in my closet. I'm here in my office. I played it in my office today while I was working, and I just was like, yeah, I'm gonna do some worship while I work. And it just, I'm sitting here bawling. I remember during the pandemic, Anthony Brown had a song called
mhm.
what was the name of the song? It was talking about Mm, why the line that got me was, why would he not show up again when he showed up the last time, when when he showed out the last time, when he healed you the last time, why won't he heal you again? He healed you the last time. And so it just talks about what he's already done and the track record with him. So during the pandemic, that was my worship, that was my song. Every day, every time that I got up, I would put that on because we were living in the worst of times, right?
Yeah,
But we had to trust and believe that God was going to bring us through. So different seasons call for different songs, different worship moments. But of course, again, we pull on the typical worship songs, of course.
yeah. How do you how do you maintain your? I know you're busy. I know you're busy, and I
You
know you
too.
got a whole lot on your
You too.
3 days. 3 days. I'm taking a break after this one,
I hear you.
but but with that, it's you can get so busy sometimes, and when you get so busy, you lose your intimacy with God.
Mhm.
How do you maintain busy and intimacy?
Um, it's intentional. You
Yeah.
kind of have to make time. I think now that my husband and I are empty nesters, it's not as hard because I'm not looking for somebody to come down the hallway, or I've got to run out to go pick somebody up, or even him. You know what I mean? I can go to one part of the house and he can be in the other. And so now it's not as hard as it was in the past. So
Hmm.
I'm still busy, but
Hmm.
that season of having to really be attentive to other people has lessened. And so I'm able to spend more time listening to music. I'm able to spend more time. I got a new book that I'm just starting to read, a worship manual. And so that gives me more time to kind of do those things and to make the time and know, okay, I made this time. This is actually going to be the time I get to do it. Not somebody's going to come in here and be like, what are you doing? That thing. So it's definitely been easier since I've gotten older. They've gotten older, but just make that in time intentional. Um, and
Yeah.
I don't get tired of talking to God. I like to tell him that we have an ongoing conversation. And so, my prayers might start off, like, dear Heavenly Father, and then it abruptly ends. But then I pick up the thought again, maybe an hour later. So as I was saying, I feel like I keep an open line of communication with him, that it's just a forever prayer. It's a forever worship. It's forever praise. It's a forever thank you. Ooh, it's a forever thank you for sure.
Yeah. Maria, I know you're from a real city, right? You're in a real city, and you come from a real city. I come from Chicago, so I'm in the
Nice.
South now, but I grew up on the South side of Chicago.
Nice.
And one of my things is I I love street people, and
Okay.
I love them because they really want to hear what it is that you have to say,
Mhm,
as long as it, like they said, as long as it makes sense,
mhm.
right? So for you, your ministry and what you sing to people, it has to make sense. How do you affect the streets versus the church in ministry?
Um, so the thing is, um, I feel so for me, I feel like what I do is user friendly. And so it doesn't matter whether you are in the church or out of the church. It doesn't matter whether you are young or old. It doesn't matter whether you are rich or poor. To me, my approach is always the same. Um, I don't want anybody to die and go to hell. I
Yes.
feel like the same God that saved me is well capable of saving you. And the same places, sort of places where he found me,
Mm,
he may not have found you where I was. Maybe you were sitting glowing up on the hill waiting for him to, reach his arm down. Or maybe you were on the street, living on the street and looking for the next, you didn't know where your next meal was coming from. He all had to find us
that's right.
where we were. And so that's what I try to do with my music. I don't try to sing at you. I try to sing for you. If you were singing this, how would it feel? How would it sound? How would it come across? And so that's how I try to do my music ministry. And that's how I try to do my people ministry. I walk into churches, I speak, I hug, I try to engage with people because I know I value people's time. I value every person that registers for your conference. I want them to hear the best preaching, the best singing, and have the best experience with me
Mm,
with the mic in my hand and with no mic in my hand, bumping into you in the bathroom. Hey, girl, pass me that toilet paper. Like, I want all the experiences to be the love of God. That's a true story. And so for me, I love you inside the church. I love you outside of the church. I love you whether you're tall, short, skinny, not so skinny. I just whether you love Jesus for 50 years or whether you just met him 5 days ago, and that's where I try to meet people, and that's where I try to meet my music to meet them. I remember being saved. I remember when they sent for me to come up from the basement of the church. My pastor at the time, he's like, "Somebody go get Marette," and it's. And as soon as we had, you open the doors to the sanctuary. As soon as they opened, that they were like, "Pastor wants to see you." I was like, "Church is still going on. What's going on?" As soon as they opened the doors to the church, I literally just started bawling because the Holy Spirit just literally met me at the door, and that's when I gave my life to Christ for real. That time, I experienced Him, knew Him, loved him even as a child, didn't know all the things I know now, but loved him, wanted to worship him, wanted to serve him, didn't know why I would cry in church. Everybody, all the other kids were like, cutting up, and I'm sitting there crying in church. Didn't know what that was until I literally came into a relationship with him. And I remember that day where my whole soul said yes. Now I
yes.
wasn't perfect after that.
No.
I didn't dot every I, cross every T after that. And I'm still that person. But my whole soul loves Jesus. And I want to let somebody else know that from day one or day 50 or day 9,000 or whatever that is, your job is to love the Lord with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. And if you do that and love his people, they'll come running to him. And
Amen.
that's what he wants.
Yeah. Someone that he can connect people to and through, right?
Mhm.
Absolutely. Now, I know you have some things that people may not all know about you. Let's start
Okay.
with this. Are you doing any producing still?
Um, for me, I'm about to work on another record. Like I said, I'm kind of making those decisions whether it's in the studio or whether it's live. My last record came out about 2 years ago. It's called He
Yes.
Loves Me, and I had a good hand in deciding, making those decisions. Executive produced it and all the stuff. And so, this record, just gonna figure out what else it is he has for me to say. I've never really produced for other people, but I hope maybe you're speaking that into my future. It's something that I've wanted to take a crack at, something I've been told I probably can do well. And so we'll see where that production street takes me, but absolutely yes.
Yes. I say yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anybody out there listening? Do you think you could just dial into that number and say, "Hey, Miss Farad, I think you can give me some information and some directions, along with a whole lot of experience that will take you to a place of where they can grow." If that's you, just go ahead and drop your name in the chat box, and let me make sure that I make sure she knows that she got an audience out there of people who are waiting to have the wisdom downloaded. Right? Like I said,
Amen.
I wasn't an author, but I wrote a book, right?
Yeah, that's a blessing. That's
I gotta ask a question. I'm getting these questions that's coming up, so I'm gonna try to see if I can get what they're asking me. Okay, so
okay.
ah, okay, this is a question, right? And we're putting on our adult glasses, right? It says, "What challenges have you faced in your music career,
Oh,
and
Jesus.
how have they contributed to your growth as an artist and or as an individual?"
Too many challenges. I don't feel like crying on this here Zoom, so we will. I will say this. You kind of mentioned earlier about. I think you did. I might just kind of heard it and ran with it, but just knowing what your well, maybe I don't know. Maybe knowing what your calling is. You made some kind of reference to that, and I knew when he called me to music that it was for the masses, and so with that, I didn't know what that meant or how it was going to happen. But I decided to hitch my wagon to the music industry, and so with any business comes the burden of business. And so where I was able to do a lot of good things, I had a lawyer look over contracts, but then at the end of the day, the contracts are never meant to be in your favor. So a few of those that weren't great, but none of those bad contracts stopped me from making music. And so or releasing music. I've had friends who've had bad contracts and they were held in those contracts and they couldn't release music. None of my contracts did that to me. Everything that I've ever recorded to be released has been released. And so
Mm,
I'm grateful for that. That's not a lot of people got albums sitting on shelves in their basements, dust on them. They recorded 10, 20 years ago that have never seen the light of day. That's not my testimony. So although there have been difficult moments, and that's just just one example, um, all of those moments have led me to be a better businesswoman, a better steward over money that's supposed to be mine that went to someone else.
mm,
It's made me a better to pray harder over relationships and people and to trust my gut. If your
mm.
gut tells you, mm-mm, y- I'm not saying I'm not telling you not you don't have to consult God, but He gave you your gut, and if your gut is like, no, don't go down that street, don't go down the street. You don't have to pray and be like, oh, God, if you don't want me to go down the street, tell me it. No, the street is dark. There's no lights. There, you know what I
Exactly.
mean? It's an alley. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. You can look down that street and go, yeah, no, I'm not going down that
Mhm.
street. So it's basically the music industry has given me the ability to trust my gut. If something sounds
Mhm.
too good,
That's
it
good.
is too good. If something sounds terrible, it's terrible.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
And you recover because you keep going. So I kept going. I still keep going. And I still do what the Lord has called me to do. And that's how you recover from whatever has set you back. I know that this is what he purposed me for. This isn't a hobby. This wasn't a decision that I made. This is a
That's
decision
good.
that was made over my life before I understood it. And so because of that, I don't care what happens. I always pursue every day. I pursue this because I know that this is what he told me to do.
And that's big. I'm glad you said that because a lot of artists want to know, how do you do it all? How do you put your all into it? And I know you have an amazing mate that's there to support you. But for
Mhm.
those that are really wanting to do it, how do they do it the right way?
Again, another wide question. Um, so I would say one, you have to uh, do your research. You would never go into a business or go into something that you just don't know what it is. You would never buy a house without having it inspected. You would never try to buy a house without researching the banks and the type of loans they're going to give you. And so I would say that if you're entering into the music industry, you know, surround yourself either with people who know what they're doing, know what they're talking about,
Yeah.
or you do the research. Back in the day, I used to go to the library and take out books. I used to read Billboard magazines. That's the magazine for the music industry. I would go to conferences. I would go to any kind of music conference. Rock and roll, I'd go. If it was R&B, I'd go. If it was gospel, I'd be like, yes, Lord. I would go just to glean all that information in regards to the industry. Now, you can't tell me nothing about Jesus, of course, because I love him. But in terms of that business part and knowing that I wanted my music to go further than I could physically take it, I had to learn. Y'all got the internet now. You can literally go on AI and be like, I want to become a recording artist. How do I do it? And it'll literally lay out all the stuff for you, tell you how, what, where, when, and who. So there really is no excuse if this is what God has called you to do.
You to
I
do.
don't know about other people that just do it just because it's a hobby or somebody told them they could sing, or they did it, you know, they sang at the church banquet and everybody loved it and now they want to record a record. I don't know anything about that. So if that's you, have at it. But if you know that you were called to the masses with your gift, just like you were called to the masses with your book, then I'm a living witness that if you step one foot and try to equip yourself in some knowledge and read the word and love the Lord and love people, that he will absolutely do exceeding abundantly above all that you can ask or think. And he will do it not just for a short time, but for a long time.
Hey guys, I can't believe this. Right? You know, I'm looking and I said, see, this is what happens when you put church people together.
Yeah,
You
sorry.
run over time.
Sorry.
But I want to say this. Uh, it's been so good. I can't wait to spend time with you. I
Thank
can't
you.
wait. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. But I want to say for all of those that are listening, come and see Morette on this Friday, right? She's going to be blessing us with her presence, with worship. And I am so excited. I'm so excited that we got this opportunity. And I want to say to you, thank you again.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for accepting the clarion call, coming with us to do the assignment that God has given us to do in this season, which is create an environment for transformation.
Amen.
Becoming the Perfect Me 2025 is here. Oh, wow. We got 3 days to go. If you have not registered, go online right now, www.teresaaroberts.com. Get your tickets, get in the house, come and enjoy worship. I am. And if you don't get it, I'm going to get it all for you. So I'm looking forward to
Absolutely.
it. All righty. But until then, Mr. Rhett, we're going to be signing off. And I want to say again, thank you for joining us. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
sitting at the table, becoming the perfect me 2025. I
Thank
got
you.
you in the house.
Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you.
Yes, real
Wait,
soon.
in my blue, my gold, or my black. I see your outfit there. I peep your outfit.
You got the assignment.
Uh, give me any excuse to go shopping. Any excuse.
We're looking forward to it. Thank you. And
Amen.
good seeing you. Hey guys, I'll see you on tomorrow. We'll be live all week talking to our guests. So come back and join us tomorrow at 6 o'clock, and we'll see who you get a chance to ask questions to. Thank you.